Oh, hello. My name is Zakes Mda. I am emeritus professor at Ohio University, from where I retired, I think, about 5 years ago. I am also a lecturer at Johns Hopkins University, where I teach creative writing, but only in summer, for their summer school. At the moment, I am a visiting professor at the University of Johannesburg in their English department, but also at the Johannesburg Institute for Advanced Study. My day job is that of being a painter. I'm an artist, but also then I dabble in writing as well, in writing poetry, novels, plays, film scripts, and the like. Now, I've known Al Imfeld for many, many years. You see, I talk of him in the present, even though he passed on a couple of years ago, because his legacy lives up to this day. So for a person like me, who was Al Imfeld's friend, in other words, somebody I knew personally, he is alive. He is alive through his works. He is alive through his legacy. I met him many times. I spent lots of times with him in Germany, but also in Zurich, in Switzerland, you see. So when then I was invited to contribute into that anthology, I was actually invited by him into an anthology of poetry. I was very happy indeed. So the poem that I'm going to read is titled Let Them Come with Rain. It's a poem I wrote a few years before sharing it with Al Imfeld. I wrote it specifically for an event in the United States here, when I was invited by the ex-president Bush, in other words, the father of the younger Bush, to write a poem on the event that they were giving Bono. You know Bono of U2, that musician who has been doing a lot of charitable work and so on. So in Philadelphia, they were at the Constitutional Center, they were giving Bono a presidential medal. Now then, I'm going to read the poem. It's titled, Let Them Come with Rain. I read it in English, but it was translated into German as well. Unfortunately, I don't know how to read German, because I would have loved to read this wonderful translation here. Let them come with rain. Soon the rains will come and heal our eroded souls. Something will sprout like a desert plant, watered only by sprays of voices, growing hardy and stubborn. Baja fairy duster, waving red powder puffs in the desert wind, blooming all year round in the cold of a desert night, in the scorching desert sun. Let them come with rain, the rain bringers. Let voices rain, even when the land once to resist and obstinately stays scarred and sullen and scorched. Somehow, someday, something will grow. With persistence, it will grow. What kind of voices are these that reign so relentlessly and penetrate the darkest of nights, the thickest of walls? They are voices of liberty, voices of ordinary men and women, creators of their own history, unstoppable, unflinching, unyielding in the tradition of Robert Sobukwe, of Martin Luther King Jr., of Malcolm X, of Mangaliso Sobukwe again, of Nelson Mandela, of Steve Biko, they who accepted the applause with grace, not in their name, not in the name of their children and grandchildren, but in the name of humanity, for whom they waged their lonely struggles. Let these voices reign for compassion and humility, for tolerance and for generosity to grow in abundance. Voices float freely in the air and cannot be harnessed or hampered, cannot be contained by prison bars, stone dungeons, concrete bunkers, islands of isolation in the middle of rough seas, leper colonies, even gilded cages of house arrest. They flowed from Darfur and from Tibet, from Burma and from Zimbabwe, from forgotten struggles that continue unseen by the eye of the world. Struggles of women in the rural margins, of street children in decaying cities, of men and women in their prime, stigmatized by AIDS, waiting for unnecessary death. Let them reign and water wholesome plants that glory in the sun, and stifle the weeds of religious intolerance, for God needs no bodyguards. He needs no warriors to defend him. He is omnipotent. When voices for liberty reign, peace bubbles under, waiting for best to burst out of the parched soil and bloom onto the universe. Let them reign on this world of diminishing freedoms, where gains of the past are vanishing fast. Let them reign. Let them reign. Well, that's the end then of that poem.